Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Tyler, and today's video is entitled INTP Dating, How to Flirt. So today's video is really going to be about certain mindsets you need to take when you're trying to flirt with somebody or trying to get a date. I think there's this big idea out there that the nice guy is the way to go, and that's how you get dates and things, but I'm going to try to get you away from that today and try to lead you down a more unconventional path, but a path that works. And I think if you are someone who's looking for a date, looking to get yourself out there, this video will be helpful for you. And it is made more for INTPs, but the video can really be used by anybody. Also, I'll say up front that this video is geared more towards men. In previous dating videos, I did not mention that up front, and I caught a little bit of flack for it, so I will say that up front. Maybe if you're a woman and you watch this and you don't want to agree with something I say, you can let me know in the comments, and we can always talk. But anyway, and then at the end of the video, I will give some specific examples on certain things you can say that might be better when things come up in a conversation. So let's get into it. Alright, to start off, this is a cold hard truth if you're an INTP watching this. But INTPs are usually terrible at flirting. And a lot of these things are just because of our cognitive function stack. One reason, because of our FE inferior, INTPs are not equipped with the best social skills, and we know this. So INTPs can watch a lot of these people that just have very good social skills and know what to do, and they can just kind of look at them in awe and be like, how are you so good with people? And the reason is because we feel inferior when it comes to FE, the feelings of other people. This can make us socially awkward. We can feel like when we carry a conversation, it doesn't go very well. Well, something you have to realize as an INTP is that FE is actually not your worst function. SE is your worst function, and then we'll talk about that in the next point here. But this is something you just have to eventually get over, is the FE inferior, because if you can get over that fear of being awkward, of being a little bit quirky, you can really open yourself up and give ideas to the world. But that's a topic for another video. Like I said, SE trickster, SE, being in the moment, being in your face, this is our worst function. So this can make INTPs very unaware of their surroundings. In the realm of dating, this could be, somebody liking somebody else, and maybe one of them is an INTP. The INTP is going to have no idea that the other person likes them. Even if they see a signal or what have you, they're going to be like, oh, that wasn't meant for me. Oh, I don't understand what's going on. So the INTP can be notorious for not knowing somebody likes them when they're clearly into them. So when it comes to flirting, they're not going to know who to flirt with, who might like them, or anything like that because of the SE trickster. But again, even though this is your worst function, it's still something you can work on, becoming more aware of your surroundings, using your TI hero, your logical hero, to figure out what certain signals mean, kind of going from there. And another thing, SI child makes it difficult for INTPs to get out of their comfort zone. So this can make it hard for the INTP to really go for what they want. If an INTP is looking for a date or looking for a boyfriend, girlfriend, what have you, they're going to have a lot higher chance when they maybe go out to a bar or go out with their friends. But if you give the INTP the choice of staying in, watching Netflix or playing video games, or trying to get yourself out there to find a date, 9 times out of 10, and even that 10th time they're going to think about it hard, they're going to stay home because of that SI comfort, the SI child just not wanting to get out of its comfort zone. So I guess the point I'm trying to make is, this is not something that comes easy for INTPs. This is something you have to work on. Maybe you've gotten down on yourself in the past because you haven't done things well, but things can change. You can change yourself. You can become better at things. And I think if you use some of the ideas in this video, it will help you out quite a bit. Alright, my next topic here is the problem with nice guys. And nice guys is in quotation marks if you didn't notice that. And I'm going to talk about this on the last slide of this video, but I'm not talking about being a bad person. What I want you to aim for is being a good person, but not necessarily a nice guy. And this is just something you have to do when you're trying to get a date, putting yourself out there into the dating world, because I think there's this misconception out there that you have to be on your best behavior to not ever offend the woman, not mess around with her, joke around, just having a good time. But you have to remember, you still have to be a good person. I'm not talking about not opening doors, not tipping well when you take them out to eat. But I'll go over some issues I have with this nice guy mentality. So the first thing is it's deceptive and unauthentic. Let's say you're on a date or something like that, and you guys have a great time. The date goes great. The end of the night comes, you drop her off, you guys talk for a second, and you don't go in for a kiss. You don't even think about it. And what you're trying to maybe show is that I don't even care about that. I just care about the person. I don't even care about kissing, anything like that. Well, let's be honest with ourselves. Do you really not want to kiss a woman that you just had a good date with? I would almost venture to say that even getting rejected for a kiss is still better than not even trying. Maybe there's a friend that you have that you like more than a friend that you would maybe want to start a romantic relationship with, and you think, well, I don't want to make things weird, I don't want to be awkward, I value that friendship so much. Well, a question you need to ask yourself is, if you ask the person if they're interested in that, and they reject you, and then they don't even want to be your friend anymore, were they really that great of a friend to begin with? If they're really this great friend that you just don't want to mess up the relationship, they're not going to care. They're just going to maybe make fun of you a little bit, but if you guys are really friends, I just don't think that's going to be an issue. And the other side of the coin you got to think about is maybe they'll say, yes, what took you so long? You have to have a little bit of confidence. You have to have just a little bit of balls, so to speak, to kind of be upfront. Are we talking about a friendship or a romantic relationship? And this just kind of makes you more authentic because you're just going for what you want. It's going to make you less deceptive because you're not hiding your feelings. You're just being upfront with how you feel. And I talked about this a little bit in the last point. It just makes you look like you lack confidence. Why are you not going for the things that you want in life? And I think a big thing with that is the NI critic, which I made a separate video about. You're very critical of your own intentions, how you feel about things. You're critical of what you get out of a situation, not necessarily what the other person gets out of it. But you can check out my other video on NI critic. You just have to reject that because just like everybody else in the world, you deserve to go for what you want, deserve to really try to just get the life that you deserve. So what I'm trying to say is that, if you have some intentions, if you want to ask somebody out for a date, just be upfront with it, I think. Don't try to beat around the bush and just be this nice guy that all you want to do is talk. You don't even care about, maybe taking them on a date. You guys are going to become friends, and then because you guys are friends, you show her that you're such a great guy. She's going to ask you on a date. No, that's not going to work, guys. It never works out that way. And honestly, even if you're up front and they reject you or something like that, it's still going to put it out there. Maybe they change their mind down the road. Who knows? But just be confident in what you want. Go for what you want. And just kind of get out of this nice guy mentality. And like I mentioned earlier in the video, SE Trickster, we may not even be aware that somebody likes us. So this could be very frustrating to the women. Somebody could be just giving you all these signals that they like you, that they want to get into a romantic relationship with you, and you don't respond. You don't even do anything. You're like, well, I'm not sure about that. Maybe she wasn't even being serious. So the woman could just end up asking herself, does he even like me like that? And they're just going to move on quickly. It's not even going to bother them. You're not even confident enough to ask them out on a date or ask them to meet up at your house, what have you. So again, it just shows a lack of confidence. And if you have this idea in your mind that the woman's going to ask you out on a date or ask you to do something, that is just not going to work. That shows that you're not very masculine. You don't go for what you want in life. And I know this is not easy, guys. I know this is going to be a difficult thing to do, to get more confidence, to show your cards, so to speak. But, maybe if you're not at the point yet where you can start doing this confidently, start working on yourself. Start working out a little bit. Start buying better clothes. I made a whole separate video about that. Make yourself a catch first. Sometimes that transformation does not happen very quickly. Sometimes it takes years. I'm talking years, guys. But if you make the commitment, I think you can get to this point. And I think, especially if you start using the examples that I'm going to go over on the next slide here, I think you will have a little bit more success. Alright, so here's some conversation examples I just came up with out of the blue. This will kind of show you what might be better to say against, what is normally said, or what, a lot of these nice guy responses are fine responses. There's nothing wrong with the response, but it's just not quite, building that tension a little bit, building that connection. So I would almost say just try it and see what happens. You never know, but let's get into the first example here. Alright, so let's say you're talking to a woman named Karen. You got some confidence, you ask Karen on a date, maybe you met her on a dating app, and now you guys are talking, and this is what she says. She says, I went to Italy for 2 years on a study abroad trip. So the nice guy, or the normal response to that would be, wow, that's cool, what was it like there? And that's a pretty generic response. It won't be, something exactly like that, but it's kind of the gist of a lot of responses. And like I said, it's a fine response. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's just not, quite, it's just not really flirty. It's not really doing anything for the conversation. So I think this next response might be better. Response 2, well, shoot, what are we doing here? You should have made us some spaghetti. And you kind of got this smile on your face, like you're joking. You guys might have a laugh about it. Then even from there, you can talk about, maybe what she ate in Italy, what her favorite dishes were. I just think it adds a little bit more spice to the conversation. You're joking around a little bit. You're lightening up, saying, well, you should have made us dinner if you've been to Italy for 2 years. It was kind of being a little bit hard to get. I think this would be a better response. If you disagree with me, again, just always comment below. But I think kind of getting this mindset of not giving the generic response, maybe messing around with the woman a little bit, I think that will be beneficial for you. Alright, so next example here. Let's say you're talking to a woman named Bernice. And this isn't even an example where you're on a date. This is just an example. Maybe you're talking to them. Maybe you started messaging them, something like that. So Bernice says, I started kickboxing classes a few weeks ago. I like it so far. So what's the kind of the generic, nice guy, oh wow, you're so impressive response? So the nice guy response would be, well, I think I would like to do something like that. Is it a good exercise? So again, this is it's a fine response. If you say this, it's not going to hurt anything. It's just kind of bland, it's kind of generic, it's kind of too nice. And I think the second response here will get you better results if you're looking to maybe get into a relationship with Bernice. So response 2, she mentions the kickboxing classes. You say, oh wow, didn't know I was dealing with a badass here. I better be on my best behavior. And again, you're just saying this in a joking manner. You're not being serious. This is just kind of, a challenge a little bit. A lot of guys are just going to say, wow, that's cool. The generic response of, is it good exercise? Something like that. But here with this, kind of giving it back to her a little bit, you're saying, I'm impressed that you're kickboxing, but do you really think you can take me? And it just comes off as more masculine, I think. And let's be honest, just be totally honest here. If you would give a response like that and the woman doesn't respond well, is that really somebody you want to spend time with? She's not even going to be that fun. Again, quit always asking if the other person likes you. Start asking a little bit, do you like that person? Do you really want to be in a relationship with them? And it just makes you a little harder to get. It raises your value a little bit. You're not some guy that just goes for any woman that he talks to. You have some standards, This is something that you need to try to convey when you're trying to get a date or trying to get a relationship, that you're not some person that just goes for whatever they can get. You're a high value person. You're going to choose the person you're going to be with, and if you don't like it, it's just not going to work out. So I got one more example here. So let's say alright, this is another date example. Let's say you're talking to a woman named Linda, and Linda says, the guy I was with before would never take me on dates. And this could kind of be even a test that some woman could play, that, they're bringing up their ex-boyfriend, the guy they was with before. Why are you even talking about that? You're on a date, you don't really want to talk about that, especially if it's a first date. But what are you going to say to this? How are you going to respond to her bringing this up, saying that he was just this bad guy that never took her on dates? Well, the nice guy response, and I think the response that a lot of people would make, especially INTPs, is, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm not like that. And you can have a little awkward moment of silence there, and she'll just know that you're this great guy that, would never not take a woman on a date. I just don't think that would be a good response. So, response 2 might be a little bit better. Response 2, well, we haven't discussed the bill yet. Can you take this one? And this is again just in a joking manner. If you're a guy taking a woman on a date and you're not paying for it, what's wrong with you, first off? But anyway, this just kind of shows that her bringing up her ex or something just doesn't throw you off. You don't care. And you need to get to a point where you really don't care just because you have enough confidence to think, well, I know I'm better than the guy that she had before. So I don't even care. If she wants to go back to him, fine. That's going to be worse for her. And I'm not trying to boost your ego or anything, but as an INTP, you bring a lot of value to the table. I know a lot of times the world doesn't see it. Only you can see it sometimes. But it doesn't matter. It's just true. Nobody in the world can think like the INTP. The INTP is the ultimate complex problem solver. And that's just not in like a calculus problem or anything like that. That's the complex life problems. You can figure those out. You have the capabilities to do that. You just have to get out of some of these other things. And that's, again, off topic. I just think you need to be confident in yourself. You need to use a little bit of these examples that I gave, or just kind of use the gist of the idea. You don't need to be on your best behavior. That's boring. Just think of if you and one of your friends are out. Are you guys on your best behavior? No, you're shooting the crap. You guys are just talking, having a good time. That's the mindset you need to take when you're trying to get a date or trying to flirt. Quit taking it so seriously, for one. And like I mentioned earlier, if you feel like you're not ready to start dating, start flirting, work on yourself. Take that year and a half to exercise, work on your projects, do things that matter to you. And I think doing something like that would not only improve your dating life, but it will also improve your life in general. Alright, just so to end the video, just kind of a summary of everything. And I'm glad the video is a little bit shorter today. I know usually my videos run a little bit long, but this one shouldn't be too bad. But anyway, like I said, be a good guy, but not a nice guy. Be a little bit of a challenge. Be confident. Don't be afraid to go for what you want. The female psychology loves boldness. It loves the person that goes for what they want, and even if they get turned down, it's not a big deal. This actually comes off as more attractive when you go for what you want. And I know it's hard. Especially for INTPs to really do this. But you just need to get yourself to a place where you can start going for what you want. Because even if you're rejected, I think you'll feel better about it just because you did it. You had the guts to do something that's not easy for you. When you're trying to flirt, just be casual and light in conversation. And not everything's a serious thing. There's going to be times when you guys have a serious conversation, but that might be, 5% of the time? You just joke around, act like friends. You're trying to build a connection. You're not trying to give a presentation on why you're such a great guy. This is a real person you're talking to, and if you're just giving generic responses, boring responses, it's just not going to work, and you're going to think later, well, maybe if I had said this or this, been a little bit more hard to get, would I have had more success? And just another point here, stand up for yourself and what you believe in. You're not the type of person that changes your opinion based on who you're around. You don't try to appease other people just because maybe your opinion or ideas are different. You are the INTP. You have the logic with you. So have your beliefs, and if it comes up in conversation and you think the woman might disagree with you, who cares? You have the right to have your opinion. And again, this just comes off as more attractive because you just say what you mean. You don't have to think about, well, if I say this in front of this person, it's not going to sound good. You are who you are, and if you have certain ideas, you're allowed to have those, and you can back those up easily because of your mind. And my last point here, guys, is don't take things too seriously. This is not something that should get you down. This is not something that should, maybe if you're not doing well, make you feel bad. Just keep trying, work on yourself. Try some of these techniques. Try flirting a little bit. See what happens. If you feel like you're a victim because you don't have good social skills or you don't have the best clothes or something like that, it's not doing you any good to feel like a victim. You, yourself, the person that looks in the mirror, can change your circumstances And this dating stuff's just one thing in your life. You could have all kinds of things. You could have other family, other friends, other projects. And if you don't have those kind of things, you need to get them. You need to have important things in your life that you're doing around the clock. So let's be honest, maybe dating is not even at the top of your priorities. You have other things going on, and this is just something else that makes you attractive. I hope the video helped today, guys. I want to thank you for watching. Please like the video if you found it helpful or entertaining. That does always help the YouTube algorithm, so I really do appreciate that. Subscribe for more content like this. I'm trying to get videos out, guys, but the SI child, it's hard sometimes, and I'm trying my best. I hope to improve after this video. There was quite a bit of delay there, but this channel is all about INTP growth, understanding ourselves better, getting some tips every now and then on what might help you. Also, please comment below, like I've said. If you disagree with me on something, just comment below and we can talk. Sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes I hope I'm wrong just so somebody can lead me in the right direction. And I always appreciate the kind comments that you guys leave saying that the video helped you, something like that. That keeps me making videos. If I made these videos and I didn't think it was helping anybody, why would I keep making them? So, again, I really appreciate you guys liking the video, commenting below, and I hope the video was a little bit helpful for you. And with all that being said, have a great day.